Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day. To start things off, Los Angeles-based digital asset fund manager Wave Financial is introducing the Wave BTC Income and Growth Digital Fund, the first crypto derivatives-based yield fund on the market. According to the announcements, Fidelity Digital Assets will custody the fund's Bitcoin holdings. Wave Financial CEO David Seimer said, and I do quote, "The mission of Wave is to provide investors with diversified exposure to crypto assets. This is an alternative way to hold BTC exposure." Incorporated in the British Virgin Islands, the fund generates yield by selling call options on Bitcoin held by the asset management firm. Call options are financial contracts that grant buyers the right to buy an asset during a specified time period at a designated price without any obligation. According to the press release, the fund expects such options sales to generate attractive premiums. Here's where it gets really insane. Premiums due to Bitcoin's high volatility, which should provide a stream of income that can be paid out monthly. The fund aims to distribute a dividend of 1.5% per month, which, if achieved, would result in an 18% targeted annual yield. That's insane. Excess premium above the targeted yield minus a performance fee would be credited back to the fund to purchase even more Bitcoin, contributing to the growth of NAV. The fund will sell call options with strikes above the price market in order to generate this premium, the release notes. If you have been paying attention to the last couple of weeks, I'm not exactly sure what lit the fire under every single either cryptocurrency exchange or fund to try and release something like this. A lot of people are trying to figure out ways to make money off of cryptocurrencies without having to simply look at the cryptocurrencies. A lot of investors, and maybe even a lot of people who are listening to and or watching this right now, love the idea of buying this coin, holding this coin, custodying this coin, putting this coin away, buying a ledger, putting it into their drawer, wherever people put their ledgers, and kind of waiting. However, that's not the most exciting thing. So what a lot of companies are trying to launch right now are any type of other funds, if you will, that are denominated or derived directly from Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. The most interesting part, compiling it all together, is that these funds are all coming out at the exact same time, whether it's people making new funds that are going to be about holding Bitcoin, dividends from Bitcoin, them acquiring more Bitcoin, people staking coins, other coins making you a month. It's for some reason we've entered the period of cryptocurrencies have matured so much that now they are able to provide people, or the financial tools have been created to be able to give people monthly income, if you will, from holding their digital assets, if you kind of want to say that. The other part is that Fidelity has not that often been in the news the last couple of months about the entire cryptocurrency space, but it's interesting to hear that they are going to be custodying this for the actual group who is going to be making the Wave BTC Income and Growth Digital Fund. Quite interesting. I assume, and this is all an assumption, if Binance already has a, what's it called? If you can make extra money off of your Bitcoin, like the interest rate that I can't remember, I think it's like 3.5%, maybe even a bit lower, for holding Bitcoin on their platform. I assume that Coinbase will also be offering something like this as well. Probably not with an 18% annual yield, which is spectacular. I would love to make an automatic 18% extra on top of my Bitcoin. However, yeah, the point being, I find stuff like this incredibly fascinating. We, in 2016 and 17, focused mainly on, and I guess even still more so now, we focus on accumulating coins, buying coins, how much can we get? But in the near future, I'm going to also assume that this is mainly for institutional investors from the way that it's worded. What we're going to see for us in the next couple of years are also things that are going to be launching just like this, where every single month or every single year, we'll be able to receive, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13% off of the Bitcoin that we have held with another custodian or something like that. Anyway, it's quite fascinating. It's going to be a bit of a rat race isn't the word I'm looking for. I mentioned yesterday that it has a tiny sliver of a feel of the entire proof of stake network, i.e. When Ether does eventually transition over to proof of stake, is going to be that the more ether that you hold, the more ether that you create. And therefore, there will be a bit of a mad dash eventually, and I'm sure it's also happening right now, with people trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible to be able to put into funds that will also give them an annual yield. So not only are you receiving extra money on top of the Bitcoin that you already hold or have custodied with someone else, but if Bitcoin also rises in value, you're also then making additional money. Quite fascinating future that we're going to have, especially for those who have been accumulating cryptocurrencies before the mass public realizes what's going on. Nicest way of kind of saying it. Next up, Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, has made some comments about Libra, the digital currency that they are working on. He informed, for example, that they have a test going on in India and are also working in Mexico. The news outlet Verge released a series of discussions between Zuckerberg and employees at Facebook. Back in June, Facebook announced a new digital currency called Libra that is expected to be released next year. The virtual currency is going to be backed by a basket of currencies that include the US dollar, the Singapore dollar, the euro, the Japanese yen, and the British pound. Apparently, they said in not a podcast, rather, I heard in a podcast that people from Facebook had mentioned the reason why they didn't include the Chinese renminbi is because they knew that regulators around the world would not like that, because the what is it? China itself is trying to make sure that their currency is actually used worldwide, that their products are used worldwide, that their applications and websites and all this other stuff are also used around the world to, they say, to make an easier situation for people using their systems, but it's clearly it's all there just to gather information. So this is why the people from Facebook, interestingly enough, said that they would denominate it in other worldwide currencies except for the Chinese renminbi. Where's the other really important part? According to Zuckerberg, they have a current test in India and are also working in Mexico. They said, we have a test in India, we're working in Mexico, and a bunch of other countries to have this rolled out broadly. The hope is to get that rolled out in a lot of places with existing currencies before the end of this year. That is November, December, about 70, 80 days. They plan on having that rolled out. He also talked about the whole Libra ecosystem and how they are planning to expand in the future. He explained that they have a bigger and more exotic project around the Libra initiative. They want to They want to create a new kind of digital money that would work globally. The interesting part being for me, and this will also tie directly into the next news story. I love how news kind of completely falls together sometimes. We've heard nothing but negativity from the Indian government or the RBI as far as how they feel about cryptocurrencies. I mentioned before, and the entire discussion has been, a lot of people have assumed that Libra from Facebook would never launch. I said, I don't think so. There's far too much money. All the politicians who were against it have kind of been hush hush. And I said what's probably going to end up happening is that it's going to launch in other countries who have not been so broadly or vocally, publicly against Libra. And the news that they've already launched a test net start beginning, whatever you kind of want to call it, within India and Mexico also leads me to believe any other country that we did not hear explicitly say that they were going to ban Libra or not allow Libra, which is, it was Germany, France, Russia, China. I think that Australia was also one of them. You can even Google that. I think the discussion was that only the Australian dollar would hold power within Australia. You know how the normal discussion goes. This is going to launch. Whether it's not be in the US or Europe or in Russia or in China, there are definitely other countries, like I said before, who are probably having discussions, if not they have already had discussions with the people from Facebook logically about, hey, especially other countries who are trying to get control of their own currencies. The dangerous part will be when other countries who are not economically sound at all go to Facebook and start asking for loans in exchange for Libra being able to be used within their countries. We already saw that a couple of the partners for Libra, some of them say that they're teetering on, maybe we'll leave right now. But as of right now, the people who are talking about that they are backing Libra are PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, Uber, Mercado Libre. There was also, not Alipay. There was some other major names. The point being, this is probably going to launch. I think it's going to launch in many other countries as opposed to even having to think about launching within the United States or Europe. They're probably going to have... so think about it this way. Think of how weird it is. If they're having discussions or have already started testing, one can only assume, especially in a country like India that has been very negative to cryptocurrencies, that they had a long discussion with the Indian government and possibly the RBI about launching within the country. If they're doing that and it benefits the country in some sort of way, meaning not the people, but the government as a whole, one can only assume that within the next year or two, within these countries, you know how like when you walk into a store, you see like, we accept Visa, we accept MasterCard, we accept so-and-so, we accept blah, blah, blah. And within the next 2 years, many countries around the world will start having a little sticker that also says, we accept Libra. And that's going to be the real turning point, because Libra isn't just a payment option. It's going to be its own currency. Anyway, I'm not surprised by this at all. If you think that Libra is not going to launch, there's what Facebook is trying to do once again is to become the world's largest currency holder, owner, distributor. There's nothing that's going to stop them. Even the wrath of many other major governments has pretty much made them go, sure, okay, well, we'll just go across the border and work on it there. We have not heard many objections about Libra from Canada. Nonetheless, from Portugal, Italy, anywhere south from that, no real objection. So that'll be fascinating if and I want to see exactly what by the end of this year, that's a very strong sentence, by the end of this year, exactly what other countries they are also planning on having this rolled out in as well. That's going to be a huge indicator thing where things are going. Anyway, staying on the topic of India, it gets more interesting. The police of Pune, a city in the western Indian state of Maharashtra, have sought a court's directive to transfer 85 million rupees seized from a Bitcoin Ponzi scheme last year. In an October 3rd article by the Times of India, Pune cyber police explained that the value of the 244 cryptocurrency units, worth 1.2 million, was blocked in a bank account of company Ethereum Internet, which was hired by the police to convert the seized crypto units into rupees. The cyber police, they have cyber police? Anyway, the cyber police's senior inspector, I'm not going to say his name, said that the Central Bank of India was unable to transfer the money to the state of the Bank of India's treasury branch in Pune, as the account of the Ethereum Internet was frozen by the Reserve Bank of India. And once again, I'll explain all of this in a couple of seconds. The Ethereum Internet is challenging the validity of the RBI's order, which prohibits dealing in virtual currencies, and has requested that the RBI instruct the Central Bank of India to unfreeze the account. What it all comes down to is... course, I don't have the actual thing. Anyway, wait, it says it right here. Cointelegraph previously reported that the Indian draft of banning of cryptocurrency and regulation of cryptocurrencies or digital currencies bill of 2019, which proposes a 10-year prison sentence for anyone who mines, generates, holds, sells, breathes, thinks, transfers, disposes of, issues, or deals in cryptocurrencies, is already promoting local businesses to take preemptive measures. What it comes down to is that, for those of you who didn't get it, apparently there was a Ponzi scheme or some type of a scheme that happened within India. The police seized said money, said cryptocurrency, and tried to transfer it to wherever they were trying to transfer it. However, because of the Indian government and the RBI stance on cryptocurrencies and people not being able to touch, deal, talk about them, even whatever within the country, has actually stopped the police from being able to do their own job because no one's allowed to deal in cryptocurrencies. They've set up a system where not only can normal people not deal in cryptocurrencies, but even the police can't even transfer the money as well, because there's a block of accounts from the Reserve Bank of India when it comes to transferring money that was once a cryptocurrency or that was dealt in cryptocurrencies. I thought this was hilarious. Maybe not to anyone else. Imagine making so many laws against something that you yourself and even your police can't even touch or move it because it's in some way illegal. Is that a catch-22? It's a catch something. I don't know what caught it, but that's exactly what it is. And this is why I found that even more interesting. And even furthering back to 2018, there's so many restrictions on cryptocurrencies within India, and they've only reproduced themselves over the course of the last couple of months. Didn't make any sense, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the fact that Facebook is in India pretty much, I'm sure Libra is going to launch there. And also the news that we were getting before and that we keep getting, that Ripple has an office in India, is a little weird. Like, nothing really adds up, especially when the Indian government kept on saying last year that they were going to give some type of cryptocurrency regulation, and thus far there's been zero. Anyway, that's the India cryptocurrency news for today. Yeah. Next up, Binance is in the news. Binance has partnered with crypto analytics startup Coinfirm to improve its anti-money laundering compliance. The integration of Coinfirm's blockchain-agnostic anti-money laundering platform will purportedly streamline Binance's compliance with AML rules issued by the FATF, that is the Financial Action Task Force, according to a press release published yesterday. The new measures set up by the FATF require that cryptocurrency operators establish the identity behind crypto fund senders and recipients, conduct proper due diligence to ensure that they are not engaging in illicit activity, and develop risk-based programs, among others. Binance will deploy Coinfirm's products to assess and analyze AML risk in regards to more than 1,200 cryptos, tokens, and diverse blockchain offered on its trading platform. As previously reported, crypto market aggregator CoinGecko joined the network of Coinfirm in order to improve their algorithm. Also, Ripple, which is largely behind XRP, signed an agreement with Coinfirm wherein the latter will explore XRP's compliance with anti-money laundering provisions. The people from the Financial Action Task Force, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, announced last year? Yeah, it was definitely last year, but I think it went into effect this year, and also I think it's going to full effect somewhere within the next couple of weeks and or months, that any organization, company, anything, I don't think it applies to actual businesses. I mean, to actual like normal people. Anyone who's dealing in cryptocurrencies must figure out exactly who's using their platform, where, if, when someone is depositing money, where that money came from, and if the money is being withdrawn, which account that's going to. A lot of this is very difficult to do within the cryptocurrency space, especially with like coin joins and coin mixers and all this other stuff that we have floating around now. So yeah, it's a bit of a, I don't want to say a sad day. Like, Binance hasn't been, dismantled in any sort of way, but it's more like Binance has done what they could have for as much time as they were possibly able to. But as of right now, anyone, especially anyone prominent or dominant within the cryptocurrency space, they have to follow these new laws. I think the next step is that, I think it's Europe who's trying to have a Europe-wide FATF rule thing that's kind of blanketed over the entirety of Europe, i.e. if you do not custody your own cryptocurrency and you have it on a website and it's being sent somewhere, they have to also then say where it's going, if it's going to you, and that's when we get into that entire situation of you have to have your address and your name and all the other stuff tied to it. Anyway, yeah, it's an interesting topic. Next up, another crypto-based financial product is coming to the Swiss stock exchange known as SIX. Fintech firm Amun and crypto fintech service Bitcoin Swiss announced on Thursday the launch of the Swiss franc-denominated Amun Bitcoin Swiss BTC ETH exchange-traded product ETP. That's the entire name, not even joking. Under the ABBA, why they have ABBA as the ticker? The name of it is under ABBA. 9 parts Bitcoin and 1 part Ether by percentage. The ETP captures some 75% of the total cryptocurrency market cap in one listed product. In an interview, Amun CEO Hani Rashwan said that the exchange-traded product serves as an important financial hedge based on the 2 largest cryptocurrencies by market cap and denominated in Swiss francs. Rashwan said the product is uniquely Swiss. It's the conservative Swiss way of doing things. It's cheap, safe, and... I said that right. Safe, cheap, and conservative. Unlike exchange-traded notes, ETPs are largely obligated to be backed one-to-one by reserves. That's where it gets very interesting. Amun says the ETP is fully collateralized with Bitcoin and Ether, custodied in Switzerland by Bitcoin Swiss. The firm's first ETP since its founding in 2013, Bitcoin Swiss currently holds some $1 billion US dollars equivalent. The product follows Amun's numerous other crypto-based ETPs launched this year, based on leading cryptocurrencies by market volume traded such as Bitcoin, Bcash, Ether, and XRP. Rajwan told CoinDesk the firm expects to have some $75 million in assets under management for this type of product portfolio by the end of the year, spurred on by further product launches this coming quarter, including ETPs. It's been a very weird situation. In 2018, we had information from a number of cryptocurrency. No. From traditional stock exchanges that they would be getting into the cryptocurrency space. A lot of them have kind of just not released news. The news that we had was that the New York Stock Exchange would create Bakkt, that NASDAQ would have a cryptocurrency trading desk, that the German Stock Exchange would get into cryptocurrency trading, which they have, and they also have an app. The Jamaican and the Bermuda Stock Exchange would also get into crypto. I think we had news about them in the summer, somewhere around that they were like creating their platform or something was going to be launched relatively soon. I think it was the Japanese Stock Exchange, and there was one or two others. I always forget the other ones. The other one, not the one that I'm forgetting, was the Swiss Stock Exchange known as SIX. They announced in 2017, maybe the end of 2017 or maybe the beginning of 2018, that they would be launching a cryptocurrency trading desk. Everyone was like, woo, really excited because Switzerland is known for money. The nicest way of putting it. For some reason, during the course of the year, the people from Swiss came out and said, Swiss Stock Exchange rules out Bitcoin trading, which they told us was because that the news that we heard from them in 2018 was completely false, and that they didn't apparently have any plans at all to list anything Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, Litecoin related, that they were simply trying to securitize, or rather digitize, any security that was already on their platform, and therefore they would be making a more digital platform. But the last couple of weeks have shown us, I assume that they've backtracked a little tiny bit, as they're now listing a whole bunch of ETPs, ETNs, and other derivatives that are derived from Bitcoin and Ether and XRP, mainly coming from Amun. But I mean, the fact that they're legally allowed to be listed on SIX is kind of telling as to exactly the conversations that have been had behind closed doors. Anyway, my favorite part of all of this, always, is that we never have, because cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and Ether and XRP, blah, 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 are for the most part pseudonymous. We don't really know if I'm transferring something or something is being transferred to me. We can't know explicitly who's sending said money back and forth. However, whenever we get news like this, we figure out how much that a fund is holding in said cryptocurrency, and it allows me to kind of put things into perspective. Once again, the news that we get quite often is that many different agencies, institutions, banks, exchanges around the world are buying up cryptocurrencies, custodying cryptocurrencies, denominating exchange-traded products in cryptocurrencies. And when we get news that they already have $1 billion in this, by the end of the year, they're going to have 75 million in assets. That is 90% Bitcoin, 10% Ethereum. It lets me know, especially with the other news. What was the other news that we just had? Yes, this one. The one where they're talking about the fund that they're creating, and that any extra profit that they make on top of the 18% will then be swashed back into buying more Bitcoin. I love it. I mean, I myself would like more of these cryptocurrencies. I try to buy when I can, but it's very fascinating always to see that they are telling us that they're actively buying, and I wonder when this is going to have an effect on the market. A lot of people continuously think that there's a lot of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies floating around. I don't believe it. Something's telling me that if we're getting news like this from major companies, and especially like we're always getting news about stuff that's like just being released or has just come out, but every couple of weeks we always get news about another thing that's come out. And if I had accumulated all of these things into one video, it would be around 120 different tabs that would show the different companies and stuff like that who have been accumulating Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies over the last couple of months, say that they can plan on continuing doing this over the next couple of years. And it leads me to believe, I don't think that there's more than 1 million Bitcoin actually circulating. I don't actually think so. And I think that number is going to get even lower as far as Bitcoin that's actually moving around when we have a situation where the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, them all announced that they have something different on their platform where you can keep your Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies with them and start receiving interest on the amount of Bitcoin as long as it doesn't move. That's going to be completely insane. When we know for a fact that Binance is now holding 143,000 Bitcoin and only 3,000 have moved over the course of a year, that means everyone's keeping their stuff safe or in place so that they can continue making money on the side while their Bitcoin kind of sits there making them extra money. Anyway, I love news like this. I mean, I may not be directly influenced by or related to, because I am not going to be buying this ETP, but I love the numbers. I love to know that these funds are happening, especially other places around the world, if I can even be like kind of more realistic about it, because we typically get a lot of news often about what's happening within the cryptocurrency space within the US and sometimes within parts of Asia, usually South Korea and Japan. That's usually how far it flows. So to hear that other countries, especially Switzerland, for those of you who don't know, there's also another company that's, I think they now are custodying, I think 7%, if not more, of all Bitcoin out there, and they've placed it into mountains, which I mean, anyway, let's move on. To kind of finish things off, Binance US launched just over a week ago, but its liquidity is already above that of the Gemini exchange. This was stressed by Changpeng Zhao. Changpeng Zhao cited data from CryptoWatt.ch to point out that Binance America's branch saw its liquidity tripling in about a week. Here's the actual chart right there. For those of you who are not looking at it, Binance US has already passed Gemini, Coiny, Gate.io, BitHum, Bitflyer, and BitPay in liquidity over the course of a week. The only things that are above it are OKEX, Poloniex, Bittrex, Bitstamp, Huobi, and of course, Coinbase. Liquidity is a term that refers to the ease at which traders can buy or sell a cryptocurrency. Trading on crypto exchanges with higher liquidity is more convenient, since entering and exiting a particular market is more accessible due to the abundance of a given cryptocurrency held or circulating at the exchange. Despite the high liquidity, Binance US's trading volume is still small. However, don't forget that the platform came out only a week ago, so we should stay patient until more traders join the exchange. I don't know what... Whoa. All right, I think there was something driving by. It sounded like they hit machines or... Anyway, it was a very large crash outside. None of you could probably see that or hear that. The point being, I already forgot my whole point. That kind of shocked me. What was my point? Binance something. I don't remember. That's actually a shame. Completely knocked me away. Binance did something. Binance money. Binance. Oh yeah, it had to do with Gemini. There we go. I'm not exactly sure what it is, especially as some of the largest players within the cryptocurrency space. Like, we know that they own at least 250,000 Bitcoin. But for some reason, the Gemini twins and even their exchange, it has a very lull approach to the cryptocurrency space. They're not very dominant in trying to, I mean, this isn't like me bashing Gemini as I've done before, but it's more like it's fascinating to see, I'll put it this way, that after a week, Binance US has passed by the liquidity of the Gemini exchange, which has been around since 2017. Not very, not looking too good, if you kind of want to say that. Anyway, that's the Gemini Binance news for today. I don't know what that crash was outside. It happened again. Anyway, as always, sorry for screaming into the microphone. A very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohair Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Brady Niels, Woody and Daisy, Triple M and J, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Mill Wheezy, Mechanic, Strange, Radio Central, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Cryptopolis, Nicholas, Run Earth, One Piece, One Love, Damien, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Crypto Beer Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, minting coins, Miller hits chest every day, and Kyle skips leg day. Yes to crypto. And Bodie McBoatface. That's what it says. Thank you all very much for your support. At the moment, the cryptocurrency market is doing one of those red and green kind of days. Bitcoin is currently red. So are many other coins, but their Satoshi prices are in green. So it looks a little Christmassy. The market's, it's really, there's been not enough negative news to warrant a price drop. However, we've seen before in the past that the cryptocurrency market doesn't make a lot of sense. And therefore, this weekend, we could be looking at the beginning of a price drop downward weekend. However, still, I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you enjoy yourself. I think it's cold in the northern part of the world right now, so make sure everybody stays warm. Don't get a cold. I don't know what else to say. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. Interesting times ahead in the cryptocurrency space. And I will most certainly talk to you all soon. See you.